Hello everyone! Today is day 3 of Salt Lake Comic Con. That is why I'm in my Jinx cosplay. And I have for you my August wrap-up. So I believe we left off July with The Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. I absolutely adored this book. The next book I picked up after that was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and sadly enough, I still have yet to finish it. I am just over halfway through. This book is really hard for me to get interested into it, so hopefully I can finish it this month. After I picked up The Raven Boys, I picked up Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, the script by John Tiffany and Jack Thorne. I actually reviewed this book already. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It is super cheesy and it really brings you back into the Harry Potter world. It's magical, but there's a lot of fan service in this and some people did not like that. I absolutely adored it, and the time travel has not worn thin on me, so I still absolutely loved this book. It primarily takes place in the point of view of Albus Severus Potter, Harry's son, and he is not at all like his father. He is very normal and just a regular student, and that makes him fall into Harry's shadow, and they fight and there's conflict, which really sums up why Albus does some crazy things in this story. Next, I picked up The Beauty of Darkness. It is the third and last book of the Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. I also reviewed the Remnant Chronicles series as a whole in another video, and I absolutely loved this book. The last 100 pages left me kind of wanting more. It builds up to this huge end battle, and I felt like the battle was a little lacking, but the ending was totally perfect, and Leah is still as strong as ever, and I can't give really anything away about this book as it is the third and last book. I'm just gonna say all of the characters are phenomenal and fantastic, and how they go about this entire plot was just completely worth the read. And if you haven't picked up The Kiss of Deception, which is book 1, I strongly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. And before I forget, I gave this a 4.25 out of 5. The next book I read was After You by Jojo Moyes. It is book 2 in the Me Before You series, and I cried like a baby in Me Before You. Seriously, the last half of the book took me 9 hours to finish because I was crying so hard. So I absolutely adored Me Before You. I gave it a 5 out of 5. After You was much easier to read because it wasn't as depressing. It really wraps up Louise's story, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, but it was also a little slow going, so I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5. The last book I read, as I only read 4 books this month, was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, and I absolutely loved this book. Everything about what happens to Alina and Mal and the Darkling, it was just so phenomenal. I completely loved this fantasy magical world and all these powers. It was really breathtaking, and Leigh Bardugo is a phenomenal author, and I'm definitely picking up the sequel to this book as soon as I can. I have a huge TBR list. I'm not even gonna get into it. So I am really stinking excited about this series, and I love how, even though this has a lot of world building in it, it doesn't distract from the growth of all of the characters. So a lot of stuff happens. It is really phenomenal, and it was a super quick read for me. The one thing that was a little bit challenging for me was figuring out the order and the hierarchy of the Grisha and trying to remember their names, because they're pretty interesting, and I still absolutely loved it so much. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Now, the only books I'm going to say are on my TBR officially are The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I really have to finish this. I seriously love the premise of the story. I just really need to get involved in the characters. I also am super excited because I'm going to pick up Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I've heard so many great things about this story. I really can't wait to pick it up. And it's kind of a big clunker, so hopefully it doesn't take me too long to read it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to hear what you read this month. Leave me a comment down below about your favorite book you read this month, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!